Listen to me. Some of you are stuck in a cycle, running on a hamster wheel, chasing love from someone who will never give it to you. You keep waiting, you keep hoping, but let me tell you something. That apology ain't coming. That change you're praying for, it's not happening. The first step in breaking free from a narcissist is recognizing the pattern. This is where most people get stuck because narcissists don't show their true colors right away. They are experts at illusion, masters of deception. They know exactly how to present themselves as kind, caring, even loving at first. They know how to make you feel special, like you are the only person in the world that matters. At the beginning of the relationship, everything seems perfect. They shower you with attention, affection, and admiration. They make you believe that you have finally found the one person who truly understands you. This is called love bombing, and it is not love. It is a strategy. It is a setup, a trap, because what happens next is subtle, so subtle that most people don't even see it happening. Slowly, the kindness starts to fade. The compliments turn into criticism. The affection turns into coldness. And the person who once made you feel like the center of their universe begins to make you feel like you are the problem. They will gaslight you, meaning they will make you question your own reality. They will deny things they said, twist your words, and make you feel crazy for even questioning them. And here's the most dangerous part. You don't even realize it's happening. You think, maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm being too sensitive. And that's exactly what they want you to think. Because the moment you start questioning yourself, they gain control. Narcissists thrive on control. They manipulate you in ways that are so subtle, so precise, that you don't even notice it. They make you feel guilty for things that aren't your fault. They make you believe that you need them, that without them you are nothing. And once they have that power over you, the cycle begins. You try harder, you start walking on eggshells, avoiding conflict, doing everything in your power to please them. And for a moment, things seem to get better. They smile again, they're affectionate again, they tell you they love you, and in that moment, you feel relief, you feel hope. But the cycle always repeats. The moment they feel like they have you under their control again, the kindness disappears and the manipulation starts all over. And so you stay trapped in a never-ending cycle of highs and lows. One day, they make you feel like the most important person in the world. The next, they tear you down so completely that you start to believe that maybe you deserve it. But let me tell you something, you do not deserve it. You do not deserve to be manipulated, controlled, or made to feel like you are not enough. The first step in breaking free is seeing the pattern for what it is, not making excuses, not holding on to the good moments, but seeing the relationship for what it truly is, a cycle of manipulation and control. Because once you recognize the pattern, once you truly understand what is happening, you gain something that a narcissist never wants you to have: clarity. And clarity is powerful because once you see the truth, you can no longer be manipulated in the same way. Once you recognize that you are being controlled, you can start to take that control back. It won't be easy. Narcissists do not let go easily. The moment they feel you pulling away, they will try to reel you back in. They will apologize. They will cry. They will promise to change. But remember this: a narcissist doesn't change. They only adjust their tactics. So when you see the pattern, when you finally recognize the truth, hold on to it. Do not let them confuse you. Do not let them pull you back in with false promises. Recognizing the pattern is the first step, and it is the most important one, because once you see clearly, you can never unsee it. And once you know the truth, you can finally start the journey to breaking free. You will never get the validation you are looking for from a narcissist. That's a hard truth to accept, but it's the truth nonetheless. Many people stay trapped in toxic relationships, not because they don't see the damage being done, but because they are still hoping for that moment when the narcissist finally acknowledges their pain, finally takes responsibility, finally says, "I see what I've done to you, and I'm sorry." But that moment never comes, and the more you chase it, the deeper you sink into the cycle of manipulation. A narcissist is not wired like you. They do not see relationships the way you do. While you seek love, connection, and mutual respect, they seek control, admiration, and dominance. They do not care about your feelings in the way that you care about theirs. They do not lose sleep over your pain. They do not reflect on their mistakes, and they certainly do not feel guilt the way you do. You are playing by the rules of love. They are playing by the rules of power. more. And in their world, admitting fault is a loss. Showing empathy is a weakness. And giving you validation means giving up control. That is why you will never hear the words you so desperately want to hear. But here is the real question. Why do you need their validation in the first place? Why does their opinion of you carry so much weight? Why does their lack of approval make you question your worth? The answer lies in the way they condition you. Narcissists do not just control with words. They control by shaping your perception of yourself. Over time, they chip away at your confidence, your identity, your belief in your own reality. They make you doubt yourself so much that you start seeking their approval just to feel okay, just to feel worthy again. At first, it's subtle, a little criticism here, a little sarcasm there, a backhanded compliment that leaves you second-guessing yourself. You're so sensitive. Why do you always overreact? No one else would put up with you the way I do. Little by little, these comments start to sink in. You begin to believe that maybe they are right. Maybe you are too much. Maybe you do need them to guide you, to love you, to fix you. And once they have you in that place, once they have you doubting yourself, you start chasing their validation like a starving person chases food. Because in your mind, their approval is no longer just approval, it is survival. That is the mistake. That is the trap. The moment you start looking to a narcissist to tell you who you are, you have already lost yourself. And this is why breaking free is not just about walking away. It's about reclaiming your sense of self. Because even if you leave physically, if you are still looking back, still waiting for them to acknowledge your worth, still hoping they will finally see you, then you are still chained to them. The key to real freedom is understanding that their opinion of you does not define you. The words they have used to tear you down, the labels they have placed on you, the doubt they have planted in your mind, it's all a lie, a carefully crafted lie designed to keep you weak, to keep you in their grip, to make sure that even if you leave, you never truly escape. But you are stronger than that. You are more than their words. You are more than their rejection. And you do not need their validation to know your worth. True validation comes from within. It comes from looking in the mirror and saying, I am enough. I am worthy. I do not need anyone's approval to know my value. It comes from unlearning every lie they told you, from rebuilding your confidence piece by piece, from understanding that you were never the problem. The problem was the way they made you see yourself. And the moment you stop looking to them for answers, the moment you stop waiting for them to validate your pain, is the moment you take your power back. They will never give you the closure you want. They will never give you the apology you deserve. But that's okay, because you don't need it. You don't need their words, their approval, or their recognition to heal. Your healing begins the moment you realize that you were always whole. The only thing missing was your belief in yourself. And now it's time to take it back. Boundaries are not just about telling someone what they can and cannot do. Boundaries are about self-respect. They are about drawing a line and saying, this is who I am and this is what I will and will not tolerate. But when dealing with a narcissist, setting boundaries is not enough. You have to enforce them. And that is where most people struggle. Because the moment you set a boundary, the moment you decide to stand up for yourself, the narcissist will test you. They will push, they will manipulate, they will do everything in their power to make you doubt yourself. They may laugh at your boundary, calling it ridiculous or unnecessary. They may try to guilt you into lowering your guard. They may even pretend to respect your limits at first, only to violate them later when you least expect it. And if you let them, even just once, they will know that your boundaries are flexible, that they are not real. And that is all they need to pull you right back into their control. A narcissist does not respect boundaries because to them, boundaries are a threat. Boundaries mean they can no longer manipulate you as easily. Boundaries mean they no longer have full control. And so they will do everything they can to break them. They will test you with small things first. Perhaps a little comment that crosses the line, just to see if you react. If you let it slide, they push further. If you push back, they change tactics, maybe even pretending to be hurt or offended, making you feel guilty for simply standing your ground. This is how they wear you down. This is how they get you to lower your guard. And this is where you have to be strong. Because setting boundaries is not about controlling the narcissist behavior. It is about controlling your own. It is about deciding what you will do when they cross the line. Will you engage in another argument? Will you explain yourself again, hoping they finally listen? Or will you simply walk away, refuse to participate in their games, and protect your peace? The power is in your hands. But the moment you bend, the moment you negotiate, you have already lost. There is no such thing as a boundary that you are willing to compromise on. A boundary is only as strong as your willingness to enforce it, and that means there must be consequences. Not empty threats, not warnings that never come true, but real, firm consequences that show the narcissist that you mean what you say. Maybe that means cutting off communication when they cross a line. Maybe that means leaving the room when they raise their voice. Maybe that means walking away from the relationship entirely. Whatever it is, the consequence must be real and you must be willing to follow through. But here's the truth. Enforcing boundaries is not easy. It will feel uncomfortable. It will feel unnatural, especially if you are used to bending, compromising, or trying to keep the peace. You may feel guilty. You may feel selfish, but that is exactly what the narcissist wants you to feel. Because as long as you feel guilty for protecting yourself, they still have control over you. That guilt is not yours to carry. It is a tool they use to manipulate you. And the moment you recognize that, the moment you stop apologizing for setting boundaries, you become untouchable. This is where real freedom begins, because boundaries are not just about keeping toxic people out. They are about keeping yourself safe. They are about reclaiming your power, your confidence, your peace of mind. And the moment you decide that your well-being matters more than their approval, the moment you stop explaining yourself, stop justifying your limits, stop letting them guilt you into lowering your guard, you win, because a narcissist cannot control someone who refuses to play their game. So stand firm. Do not waver. Do not let fear, guilt, or manipulation weaken your resolve. Your boundaries are not up for debate. And once you enforce them, once you prove to yourself that you will not tolerate anything less than respect, you will realize that you never needed the narcissist's approval to begin with. You only needed your healing. From a narcissistic relationship is not just about walking away. It's about rebuilding yourself from the inside out. It's about undoing the damage, rewiring the way you think, and reclaiming the parts of yourself that you lost along the way. Because even after you leave, even after the narcissist is no longer in your life, their voice can still echo in your mind, their words, their manipulation, their judgment. It lingers. And if you don't heal, if you don't take control of your own narrative, you risk carrying their influence with you long after they're gone. The truth is, being involved with a narcissist changes you. It strips away your confidence, makes you question your reality, and leaves you feeling like you are not enough. You may find yourself replaying conversations in your head, wondering if you really were the problem, wondering if maybe, just maybe, they were right about you. That's how deep their conditioning goes. They make you doubt yourself to the point where even in their absence, their presence still controls you. That is why healing is not optional. It is necessary. The first step in healing is understanding that what happened to you was not your fault. It was not because you were weak, not because you were too emotional, too sensitive, or too difficult. A narcissist will make you believe that their treatment of you was a reaction to your flaws, but that is a lie. Their behavior was never about you. It was about them. About their need for control, about their inability to feel empathy, about their own deep-seated insecurities. They would have treated anyone the same way. That realization alone can be freeing because it allows you to stop internalizing the blame and start seeing the situation for what it truly was, an abuse of power, not a reflection of your worth. The next step is reclaiming your identity. When you are in a relationship with a narcissist, you lose pieces of yourself. You stop doing the things you love. You stop expressing yourself fully. You shrink to avoid conflict. And over time, you become a version of yourself that is designed to survive the relationship rather than thrive in life. But you are not here to survive, you're here to live. And that means rediscovering who you are outside of the narcissist's influence. What makes you happy? What brings you peace? What do you love about yourself that they tried to take away? These are the questions that will lead you back to yourself. But healing is not just about the mind, it is about the body too. The stress and trauma of dealing with a narcissist take a toll on your nervous system. Your body has been in fight or flight mode for so long that even after they are gone, you may still feel anxious, on edge, waiting for the next emotional attack. That is why self-care is essential. Whether it's through therapy, journaling, meditation, exercise, or simply surrounding yourself with people who genuinely care about you, you must actively engage in activities that restore your sense of safety and peace. One of the hardest parts of healing is breaking the emotional attachment. Even though you know the narcissist was toxic, even though you know they hurt you, there can still be a part of you that misses them. This is normal. It's not because you miss them. It's because you miss the version of them that they showed you in the beginning. You miss the good moments, the highs, the times when they made you feel special. But you must remind yourself that those moments were never real. real. They were part of the cycle, part of the manipulation, part of the reason you stayed. And the moment you romanticize the past, you risk falling back into the trap. Healing also means letting go of the need for closure. The apology you are waiting for, the accountability you wish they would take, it is never coming. And even if it did, it would not change what happened. True closure does not come from them. It comes from you. It comes from deciding that you do not need their validation to move on. It comes from accepting the past for what it was and choosing to build a better future. Most importantly, healing means learning to trust yourself again. A narcissist's greatest weapon is making you doubt your own judgment, your own instincts, your own perception of reality. And after being manipulated for so long, it is easy to feel like you can't trust yourself. But you can. That inner voice that told you something was wrong, that gut feeling that made you hesitate before falling into their trap, that was real. And the more you listen to yourself, the more you trust your own intuition, the stronger you become. Healing is a journey, not a destination. There will be days when you feel strong, and there will be days when the weight of what you went through feels unbearable. But no matter how long it takes, no matter how many setbacks you have, know this: every step you take away from the narcissist and toward yourself is a victory. Every time you choose self-love over self-doubt, every time you enforce a boundary, every time you refuse to let their words define you, you are winning, you are breaking free. And in the end, the greatest revenge is not anger, not bitterness, not proving them wrong. It is thriving. It is living a life so full, so free, so unapologetically yours that they no longer hold any power over you. Breaking free from a narcissist is not just about leaving the relationship. It's about staying free. It's about ensuring that you never fall into the same trap again, that you never allow someone to manipulate, control, or break you down the way they did. And the only way to do that is by building a new mindset, a new way of seeing yourself, your relationships, and the people you allow into your life. Because if you don't do the inner work, if you don't learn the lessons from your past, then the cycle can repeat. And the last thing you want is to escape one narcissist only to walk into the arms of another. The first step in ensuring this never happens again is self-awareness. You have to understand why you allowed this person into your life in the first place. This is not about blaming yourself. It is about understanding yourself. Were you raised to believe that love meant sacrifice? Were you taught to prioritize other people's feelings over your own? Did you grow up in an environment where boundaries were weak or non-existent? Sometimes we accept treatment from others that reflects what we once believed to be normal. And until we unlearn those old patterns, we remain vulnerable to the same kind of toxic relationships. Once you become aware of your patterns, the next step is raising your standards. A narcissist does not walk into your life and immediately show their true nature. They test the waters. They push little boundaries at first to see if you will push back. And if you don't, they keep going. That is why you must make a promise to yourself you will never again ignore the red flags. The moment someone disrespects you, manipulates you, or makes you question your worth, you walk away. No second chances, no justifications, no waiting for them to change. Because the moment you tolerate even a little toxicity, you open the door for more. But raising your standards is not just about avoiding toxic people. It's about demanding more from yourself and your life. It's about refusing to settle for relationships that drain you, friendships that don't support you, or environments that make you feel small. When you start valuing yourself at a higher level, the way you allow others to treat you changes naturally. You no longer accept breadcrumbs. You no longer tolerate mistreatment. You no longer chase after people who make you feel like you have to earn their love, because you finally understand that you are enough just as you are. Another important part of staying free is trusting yourself again. A narcissist's greatest weapon is making you doubt your own instincts, making you question your perception of reality. And after spending time in that environment, it can be hard to trust your own judgment. But rebuilding that trust is essential. You have to learn to listen to your gut. You have to believe yourself when something feels off, when someone's words don't match their actions, when a situation just doesn't sit right with you, because your intuition was never the problem. The problem was that you were trained to ignore it. Now you take your power back by listening to yourself again. Healing from a narcissistic relationship also means choosing peace over drama. One of the most dangerous traps after leaving a narcissist is getting sucked back in through emotional reactions. They will test you. They may try to provoke you, insult you, bait you into responding. Because as long as you are reacting, as long as you are still engaged in their chaos, they still have control over you. True freedom comes when you stop playing their game When you refuse to react, when you walk away without a word, when you cut off access and refuse to give them the emotional response they crave, that is when they truly lose their power. The final key to ensuring you never fall into this trap again is learning how to truly love yourself, not just in words, not just in theory, but in action. Self-love means protecting your energy, surrounding yourself with people who uplift you, saying no without guilt, and prioritizing your own needs without apology. It means setting boundaries and enforcing them, not because you want to control others, but because you respect yourself enough to do so. It means knowing that your worth is not determined by anyone else's approval. Breaking free from a narcissist is not just about leaving them behind. It's about never letting another one in. And that starts with you, with how you see yourself, with how you value yourself, with how you choose to live your life moving forward. The past may have shaped you, but it does not define you. You are stronger now, wiser now, and more powerful than you have ever been. And the greatest proof of that power is this: you will never let anyone take it from you again. Breaking free from a narcissist is not just about leaving. It is about reclaiming yourself, your power, and your future. It is about understanding that you will never get the validation you seek from them, that boundaries are meaningless unless you enforce them, and that healing is not just about moving on, but about rebuilding yourself from the inside out. It is about unlearning the lies they made you believe, trusting yourself again, and choosing peace over drama. And above all, it is about raising your standards so high that no manipulator, no abuser, no toxic person can ever enter your life again. This journey is not easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments of weakness, moments when the past tries to pull you back in. But every time you choose yourself, every time you refuse to engage in their game, every time you enforce your worth, you win. Because true freedom is not about what they do or don't do. It is about what you choose. And you are choosing strength. You are choosing peace. You are choosing you. So walk forward with confidence, with certainty, knowing that you are no longer bound by their control. You do not need their approval, their closure, or their validation. You are enough as you are right now. And that is the most powerful truth they never wanted you to know. But now you do. And once you know your worth, once you fully step into your power, no one can ever take it from you again.